the name of the table was pretty much like how you bring conversations and ideas to the table. And then the logo was kind of the colors of the schools that we're coming from, like as the table, legs holding up the discussion of the surface, ways to stimulate our minds and keep thoughts enriched, and hope to share this stuff with you guys as well. Today's Joseph is leading the topic, so take it away, man.
Today we could talk about things that have been inspiring us, describe certain things that are continually inspiring you through these times of uncertainty that keep you afloat.
Crisis and inspiration.
Inspiration in crisis.
I like that. Inspiration in crisis. For me, it's really hard to be honest, it's really hard to be inspired during this time because people are at home and you end up, when you don't have a routine and you're just going through the day by day and there's no one kind of looking after what you're doing, there's no accountability. I think in this time of COVID and a lot of isolation, it's really important not to isolate yourself, even though we have to be socially or physically isolated from each other. I think socially it's really important to be connected. And sometimes we think that social media, if we post on social media or we're constantly active on like Instagram or Facebook, it's supposed to somehow make us feel more connected to the world. But I found that it's actually quite isolating because you begin to compare yourself to others and there's this overload of feed and it almost feels even more isolating. So I found that in this period of time, at least for me, developing genuine relationships with a group of people from diverse backgrounds and diverse organizations has really helped like enriching my life and inspired me in this time. I don't think one group of people can satisfy that need, but having multiple circles of friends, whether it's friends in architecture or friends from church, or friends from different backgrounds, I think that has been really inspiring for me.
Circle of friends and networks, as you mentioned. Is it okay we add Kevin and Christian?
Add away, man.
Right now. He is a friend of mine who is a kind of entrepreneur in many ways. He hosts a podcast and
That's awesome.
He highlights the Filipino voice, and he is focused on social impact and entrepreneurship. He just graduated last year from Berkeley.
Hello, thanks for letting me come in. But I think jumping off that topic about social media, I had a weird little experience today because I'm on the job hunt, right? And there's a lot of networking involved, and it's hard to do networking, virtually where you're not in person. And I have this kind of reservation about networking where it sometimes seems inauthentic. And it's like, hey, I'm an alumni of Berkeley, go Bears! Would you like to share about your journey, your professional journey? And do you have time next week to talk for 15 minutes? But then I also had another call a few hours later from another Cal folk who runs Harness, which runs BearX. It's like their startup/alumni portal. It was just such a heartwarming conversation because our principles aligned and how it's hard to see that principle of a person on a LinkedIn profile or was just being shared over Instagram, right? Because it's not like you get the full dimension of a person and what they're passionate about, if you'll work well with them, how they treat people, trying to find ways to build those relationships. Because I get inspired by other people and what they're doing on a little competitive, but inspired like, oh, I want to do that too, like that. But when I meet people who've done things I want to do and they're good people, that inspires me a lot.
Another thing that keeps me inspired is meditation and kind of like having the ability to detach from the typical mental chatter that you have. And with meditation and learning detachment, you're able to kind of watch your thoughts and your thought patterns. So if you're like watching yourself, you realize, oh man, I'm feeding into so much negativity. let me kind of just shift my focus and find more positivity, find more inspiring things, such as books, such as other people. You know, if we kind of lack the ability to detach from our daily routine, we can get lost in the sauce really quickly. Definitely chats like this are super refreshing and keep you on your toes and accountable. Or a year ago, where we had a competition, a running group. It was to who could run the most miles in the month of February, and then from then on, we kind of built this camaraderie off of just like shared struggle.
One essential thing that, based on what I've been hearing, is this like horizontal and vertical connection. Horizontal connection is like, you know, our connection with our peers, our connection with our family, our connection with people around us, and vertical kind of connection is like connection with kind of a higher being. You know, it might be for you, Joseph, it's like meditation, but for other people it might be, you know, connecting with God or higher being, just so your mind is at peace.
I love that horizontal, vertical. Just thinking, I was like, oh, I've never thought of it that way.
That's an awesome way to put it.
But that is an awesome way of looking, because that's actually what I've been talking about in commerce. You have the horizontal and vertical integration of supply chain, right? But I was like, oh, that makes total sense for you as
relationships
and relationships. Yeah.
Quick introduction to Kevin Reber.
Kevin is on the island, which is above.
Yeah, Kame's house.
He's a big
dude. Where are you guys? We're all out here.
Yeah, Jocelyn, we gotta step up our background game.
Right.
Well, my first coding class was back in City College, like literally the semester right before I transferred to Berkeley. I really wanted to find a way to like combine tech with architecture, because I was really fascinated with, you know, like digital immersive spaces. So that combination of design and technology. I used to have like a filament that attached to the end of this motor right here, and then I had like an air pump that would shoot out like clay. So I was trying to like create facades while using like a robotic arm for control. And so I was just trying to find ways to like integrate architecture into tech, because while I was in school, I also was doing like architecture internships. We're building a platform basically to help students connect, because, you know, learning has changed a lot, and online learning, it could be a struggle for a lot of people, especially without that physical interaction. So this is Mate. It is an online learning platform for students. We have two main features. One is the social aspect of things. So you can find out about events and stuff going on in campus, or like, for example, earlier we were talking about how, you know, there's a lot of Black Lives Matter movement going on right now, and so it's a way for like students, you know, to find things going on, not on campus, but you get the idea, because we're all digital now. But and then there's also like features where you can check out how the other students are doing in your class, so you could enter in your grade for an assignment, join discussions to talk to. It's basically like a lot of platforms mixed into one just for student. You can create your own study groups, say what's up to Captain Hook. You can also find a tutor if you want to be a tutor. You know, that's another way to connect to other students.
Yeah, like I think that's an awesome idea, man. Like startup companies I'm also kind of in the process of working on something, but it's more of a furniture design company, and it's very tough in the sense that you're gonna have a good at least 3-4 months where you're not gonna get any income, because you have to build something from the ground up. But yeah, like I think at the end, if you keep like pushing forward with building this whatever startup company or idea that you have, it's beneficial in the long run, because you're basically building your own infrastructure. Like if you're working at day jobs, you don't get the passive income that a startup company could potentially get you. Yeah, Joseph, do you want to wrap up? I think.
I thought I did, bro.
I think you did.